Okay, so I want to get rid of some of these in the dictionary, prune this dictionary down somewhat. I don't want the things that start with like an at mark in my dictionary. Of course, that's up to you, but uh, and there's a nice feature here called in this pattern button you can use Perl regular expressions, which I'm not that familiar with, so I had to look it up. Um, and it's this is basically the Perl regular expression I'm going to use. That's going to get every entry that starts with this. That's how I'm going to try that one first. So let's try that. So copy that and put that here and paste it in there. So if I click OK, hopefully all the things that, yeah, all these that I could have just checked these all by hand, but uh, this selects all the ones that start with a pound mark, and now I can remove them. Okay, now I can do the same thing to find all the ones that start, say, with the ampersand. Let's try that. Okay, and then I can remove those. And then I can do the same thing to find everything that starts with, I believe, a backslash, and I can remove those. And I don't know how to do numbers. There's probably a nice thing for numbers. How about and? It's probably a nice Perl expression for numbers as well, but I don't know it. So there's all those, remove those. And then I'll just do these by hand. This. If you wanted these in there, you could leave them, but I don't think for our purposes this is going to make it anything clear. In fact, I think it'll make it less clear. I'm going to take that out. That seems useless. Um, and you can take out I'm also going to take out Michelle and Obama because that's in every tweet because I only selected tweets that had those. So I'm going to just take those out because that's not really, oh, what's all this? I don't want that either. I'll come back and get rid of that. Um, I don't want those. I don't really want this in there. It's not going to help anything. Obama. And you could take out, so this you could take out. And you could go through here and clean up anything else that you wanted to take out that you didn't like. This is probably, that's not English. This is not English. Um, I don't think that's English. So you could clean this up to one degree or another. It's really not English. It's not English. I'm not going to completely clean it up, but it would be better to spend some time cleaning it up. These are all the words that occurred at least twice, because I did two. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to take it out. And this is not anything. I don't know what that means. Okay. Then I'm going to take these out at the bottom and remove. And then what was that other thing? This ly, anything that starts with ly. I don't know what that is, but let's try that. Anything that starts with ly. Okay, and remove those. So, as I said, you could clean this up more, um, but we'll just leave it as it is. Okay. All right. So now we have the dictionary. Again, we have clicking on edit. We have the matrix if you wanted to see that as well. You could copy this and anyway, we have that. Now we started working with a CSV file, but Weka prefers .arff files, and we can save this all as a .arff file now, so that we can use it maybe more easily later. So I'm going to do that anyway, whether we actually use it like that later or not. I'll just leave the name like that and click Save. Gives me this. Now this is confusing. I'm not quite sure what this means. I think I want to change this to true. It seems like if I don't do it the right way, um, I get nothing in my file. Let's see. So I'm going to click OK. Let's see if it worked. Um, so here is the file, and it's nothing. See, there's 0 bytes. So for some reason that didn't work. I'll try it again. Save it this time. Save it. Rewrite the old one. This time I'll leave it as false. Let's see if that works. And let's try that. Now it has something in it. See, 97 kilobytes. In fact, if we open it up, whoops, if we open it up in WordPad, you can see what it looks like. So this should be sort of familiar to you. These are all the attributes, which is the entire dictionary. They're all numeric because they're the number of times that American occurs and so on. You scroll all the way down, and we get um, the data itself. Where does it start? Here. The data starts here. Now, Weka is expressing the data in a compact way because these are each of these vectors are what's called sparse vectors. The reason these are called sparse vectors is because we have a big dictionary here. In other words, we have many, many variables. Remember, each one of these is a variable. So we have many, many variables. And so if I wanted to express the first record, um, I'd have to say how many times does each one of these words or each one of these variables occur, and most of them would be 0 because we're talking about a tweet. A tweet is at most 140 words, and so we have a dictionary of like 700 words, so most of the variables would be 0. So you'd have like 00001, 00000000001, and so on. Or maybe it wouldn't be 1, it would be different various numbers, but it would be numbers like that. So Weka is expressing this in a more compact way. It's saying that only the 61st variable is the first actual variable that has a non-zero value, and the value is this. And the 273rd variable is the second variable that has a non-zero value, and its value is here, and so on. So it's only giving those. So it's more compact, but that's the way it's expressing it. Okay, I think when it puts these brackets around there, then it's expressing it. It's using that format to express it. If it didn't have these brackets, this wouldn't work. They'd have to do just a regular vector expression. Okay, so that is that. So anyway, we've opened up. We've done this now. We've created this this whole matrix. Okay, so the thing that we were going to do is we're going to cluster the data. We're hoping to find clusters of, in this exercise, we're hoping to find clusters of tweets. In other words, tweets that are similar, and break up, say, all of these tweets. I forget how many we had there, but I think we had maybe a couple thousand tweets, maybe, or at least more than 1,000, I believe. And so we want to break them up into groups of similar, whatever that means, similar tweets. Tweets that basically have the same words in them means, or similar sets of words in them, is what we mean by similar. So we could choose to break it up into, 5 different groups of tweets, or 4 different groups of tweets, or 3 different groups of tweets, or 7 or 8. I'm going to choose 8. And there are various clustering algorithms that Weka has, and to see what they are, we click here, and these are the ones that are available. And I'm going to use this time the simple k-means, and to adjust some of the parameters in that, I'll click up here, and these are some of the parameters. And the only one I'm going to change right now is the number of clusters. I'm going to change that to 8. So I'm going to have 8 groups. And maybe, I don't think this is going to matter, but this is how many times it will, this is basically how long it will run before it stops. And the maximum number of 500 iterations. I'm just going to change it to, say, 50. I don't think it's going to make a difference either way. But okay, let's click OK. And then I want to run this. Now I want to use the training set. In other words, use the data that I have here already, and start. And it's working, you can see. It says it's building model, and then it's done. Okay, so here's the kind of part of the results, and it tells me that there's a cluster. The first cluster, cluster 0, has this many tweets in it, which is 28% of all the tweets. The second one has this many tweets in it, which is 3% of all the tweets, and so on. So it's broken the tweets up into 8 different groups, and this one has 0%, but it actually has 3 tweets in it. So now we have the, and we can see what other results can we see here. Here's the results. Took 6 iterations. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. By the way, I'm going to, I thought we could save this, but maybe, how do we save it? Oh, okay, one more thing here. Let's, actually, what I'd like to do is, well, I forget. Anyway, let's try to visualize this for a moment. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Here. Anyway, let's visualize the cluster assignments. All right, now this is a little bit confusing. I'll just explain it very briefly right now. Maybe I'll come back to it later. So, can we make this bigger? A little bit, yeah. Okay, let's just play with this a little bit. So it's telling me that it's labeling the cluster elements in cluster 1 as blue, in cluster 2 as this color, and so on. For example, I see this X up here, and it's I guess it's what color? This color maybe. So in other words, it's apparently cluster 5. So what does this X mean? Well, what are the axes on this graph? Well, down here are the actual, we can check, what are the axes? It's the instance number versus the a particular variable. Remember, the variables are all the different words in the dictionary, so we have all these different words here. But anyway, it happens to be a board right now. So that's the y-axis. So what does this mean? This means that, remember, this axis is the instance number. So this is, here's 0, here's 687.5. That doesn't make sense, but it could be just 687 is somewhere around here. That would mean instance number 687 means record number 687. So over here, where is this one? It's around what? Around 800 or something like that. So maybe this is record 800. Record 800 does have the word, the frequency of the word is valued at 6.53. Remember that we were using a special formula, so it's not exactly the frequency, but basically you can interpret it as the frequency was like 6. In other words, it kind of occurred a lot or something like that. So the word aboard occurred in this record say 800, and that record 800, belongs to, has been put into cluster number 5. So what I have is that all these records down here, except for record 800 perhaps, do not contain the word aboard. Let's try a different one. Let's try a different word, maybe a more likely word. Let's try Afghanistan. Okay, Afghanistan occurs in this record. Maybe this is what, record 300, and also in this record maybe this is record 700. And record 300 has the word Afghanistan, and that record is in cluster 4. Record, maybe this is 700, also has the word Afghanistan, and it's in cluster, this one, cluster 1, I suppose. Okay, now sometimes this might actually, this symbol looks a little different than this symbol. It means probably there's actually a couple different dots here, and we can't see them because they're so close to each other. So if you want to spread things out a little bit, you do this jitter. That just sort of spreads things out. And now I can see actually that there's quite a number of elements in there. And so there are a few records in here that contain the word Afghanistan, and most of them have been clustered into cluster 4, and one of them has been here clustered into cluster 1. Okay, so this is a kind of visualization tool, and the other reason I did that is because I want to be able to save all of this information, and one way to do that is by using the visualization tool and then clicking Save. So I'm going to save this as Michel clustered 8, because it was 8 clusters. And I'll save this like this. Okay, so we have that. Okay, let's stop now and continue with this in the next video.